the movie, it's family friendly, but the book itself, it is, the first few chapters have sex in it, and I did not want to read them, so I omitted them, and I told you basically of what the story, what the chapter was about, that section. So I am going to be reading chapter 7. I apologize for any growling on my stomach. I'm hungry, and I had already read chapter 6, and my stomach just kept growling, so I apologize for that. So let's start chapter 7 at the sign of the chariot. That's the inn. So the star had been soaked to the skin when she arrived at the pass, sad and shivering. She was worried about the unicorn. They had found no food for it on the last day's journey, as the grass and ferns in the forest had been replaced by gray rocks and stunned gray thorn bushes. The unicorn's unshod hooves were not meant for the rocky road, nor to carry passengers, and its pace became slower and slower. As they traveled, the star cursed the day she had fallen to this wet, unfriendly world. It had seemed so gentle and welcoming when seen from high in the sky. That was before. Now she hated it, and hated everything about it, except the unicorn and saddle sore. If one can become saddle sore riding bareback and uncomfortable, she would happily have spent time away from the unicorn. After a day of pelting rain, the light of the inn were the most welcoming sight she had seen in her time on earth. Watch your step, pattered the raindrops on the stone. The unicorn stopped 50 yards from the inn and would approach no closer. The door to the inn was open, flooding the gray world with warm yellow light. "Hello there, dearie," called a welcoming voice from the open doorway. The star stroked the unicorn's wet neck and spoke softly to the animal, but it made no move, stood there frozen in the light of the inn like a pale ghost. "Will you be coming in, dearie, or will you be stopping out there in the rain?" A woman-friendly voice warmed the star, soothed her, just the right mixture of practicality and concern. "We can get you food if it's food you're after. There's a fire blazing in the earth and enough hot water for a tub that'll melt this chill from your bones. I will help. Come in," said the star. "My leg." "Ah, poor mite," said the woman. "I'll have my husband Billy carry you inside. There's hay and fresh water in the stables for your beast." The unicorn looked about widely as the woman approached. There, dearie. I won't be coming too close. After all, it's been many a long year since I was a maiden enough to touch a unicorn, and many a long year since such one as this one was seen in these parts, for we do not see many visitors in these parks. I should say we do not. Nervously, the unicorn followed the woman into the stables, keeping its distance from her. It walked along the stable to furthest stall, where it lay down in the dry straw, and the star scrambled off its back, tripping the miserable. Billy turned out to be a white-bearded, gruff sort of fellow. He said little, but carried the star into the inn and put her down in a three-legged stool in front of the crackling log fire. "Poor dear," said the innkeeper's wife, who had followed them inside. "Look at you, wet as a water-nixed Look at the puddle under you and your lovely dress. Oh, the state of it. You must be soaked to the bone. And sending her husband away, she helped the star remove her dripping wet dress, which she placed on a hook near the fire, where each drip hissed and fizzed when it fell to the hot bricks of the hearth. There was a tin tub in front of the fire, and the innkeeper's wife put up a paper screen around it. "How'd you like your bath?" she asked solicitously. "Warm, hot, or boiled to a lobster?" "I do not know," said the star, naked but for the topaz stone and the silver chain about her waist, her head all in a world at the strange turn that events had taken. "For I have never had a bath before." "Never had one?" The innkeeper's wife looked astonished. "Why, you poor duck. Well, we won't make it too hot then. Call me if you need another cupful of water. I've got some going over in the kitchen fire, and when you're done with the bath, I'll bring you some mulled wine and some sweet roasted turnips." And before the star could protest that she neither ate nor drank, the woman had bustled off, leaving the star sitting in the tin tub, her broken leg and its splints sticking out of the water, and resting on a three-legged stool. Initially, the water was indeed too hot, but as she became used to the heat, she relaxed and was, for the first time since she had tumbled from the sky, utterly happy. "There's a love," said the innkeeper's wife, returning. "How are you feeling now?" "Much, much better, thank you," said the star. "And your heart? How does your heart feel?" asked the woman. "My heart?" It was a strange question, but the woman seemed genuinely concerned. "It feels happier, more easy, less troubled." "Good, that's good. Let us get in burning high and hot within you, eh? Burning bright inside you. I'm sure that under your care my heart shall blaze and burn with happiness," said the star. The innkeeper's wife leaned over and chucked the star in under the chin. "There's a pet. Such a duck is it. The fine things it says." And the woman smiled indulgently and ran a hand through her gray streaked hair. She hung a thick toweling robe to the edge of the screen. "And this is for you to wear when you are done with your bath." "Oh no, not a hurry, ducks. I'll be nice and warm for you, and your pretty dress will still be damp for a while now. Just give us a shout when you want to hop out of the tub, and I'll come and give you a hand." Then she leaned over and touched the star's chest between her breasts with one cold finger, and she smiled. "A good, strong heart," she says. There were good people on this benighted world. The star decided to warm and contented. Outside, the rain and the wind pattered and howled through the mountain pass, but in the inn, at the sign of the chariot, all was warm and comfortable. The innkeeper's wife, assisted by her blank-faced daughter, helped the star out of her bath. The firelight glinted from the topaz set in the silver which the star wore, and a knotted silver chain about her waist, until the topaz and the star's body vanished beneath the thick toweling of her robe. Now, my sweet," said the innkeeper's wife, "you come over here and make yourself comfortable." She helped the star over to a long wooden table, at the head which was laid a cleaver and a knife, both of them with hilts of bone, in blades of dark glass. Leaning and limping, the star made it to the table and sat down at the bench beside it. Outside there was a gust of wind, and the fire flared up green and blue and white. Service boomed in a deep voice from outside the inn over the howl of the elements. Food, wine, fire. Where's the stable boy? Billy the innkeeper and his daughter made no move, but they looked at the woman in the red dress. She pursed her lips, and then she said, "I can wait for a little. After all, you are not going anywhere, my dearie. This last to the star, not on that leg of yours, and not until the rain lets up. I appreciate your hospitality more than I can say," said the star simply and with feeling. "Of course you do," said the woman in the red dress, and her fidgeting fingers brushed the black knives impatiently, as if there was something she could not wait to be doing. "Plenty of time when these nuances have gone, eh?" The light of the inn was the happiest and best thing Tristan had seen in his journey through Fairy. While Primus bellowed for assistance, Tristan unhinged the exhausted horse and led them one by one into the stables on the side of the inn. There was a white horse asleep in the furthest stall, but Tristan was too busy to pause to inspect it. He knew somewhere in the odd place inside him that new direction and distance of things he had never seen and the places he had never been, that the star was close at hand, and this comforted him and made him nervous. He knew that the horses were more exhausted and more hungry than he was. His dinner, and thus he suspected his confrontation with the star, could wait. "I'll groom the horses," he told Primus. "Then I'll catch a chill otherwise." They'll catch a chill otherwise. The tall man rested his huge hand on Tristan's shoulder. "Good lad. I'll send a pot boy out with some burnt ale for you." Tristan thought about the star as he brushed down the horses and picked out their hooves. What would he say? What would she say? He was brushing the last of the horses when the blank-looking pot girl came out to him with a tankard of steaming wine. "Put it down over there," he told her. "I'll drink it with good will as soon as my hands are free." She put it down on the top of the tack box and went out without saying anything. The horse in the end stall got to its feet and began to kick against the door of the stall. "Settle down there," called Tristan. "Settle down, fella. I'll see if I cannot find warm oats and bran for all of you." There was a large stone in the stallion's front inside hoof, and Tristan removed it with care. "Madam," he said. He had decided he would say, "Please accept my heartfelt and most humble apologies, sir." The star would say in her turn, "That I shall do with all of my heart. Now let us go to your village, where you shall present me to your true love as a token of your devotion to her." His ruminations were interrupted by an enormous clattering as a huge white horse, but he realized immediately it was not a horse, kicked down the door of its stall and came charging desperately towards him, its horn lowered. Tristan threw himself into the straw of the stable floor, his arms about his head. Moments passed. He raised his head. The unicorn stopped in front of the tankard, was lowering its horn to the mulled wine. Awkwardly, Tristan got to his feet. The wine was steaming and bubbling, and it came to Tristan then, the information surfacing from some long forgotten fairy tale or piece of children's lore that a unicorn horn was proof against poison. He whispered, and the unicorn raised its head and stared into Tristan's eyes, and Tristan knew that it was the truth. His heart was pounding hard in his chest around the inn, and Wind was screaming like a witch in her madness. Tristan ran to the stable door. Then he stopped and thought. He fumbled in his tunic pocket, finding a lump of wax, which was all that remained of his candle, with a dried copper leaf sticking to it. He peeled the leaf away from the wax with care. Then he raised the leaf to his ear and listened to